Good morning, Cedar Lane congregation. It's good to see you all here. We're going to begin our Ingathering music. It's in our teal hymnal, but the lyrics should also be on the screen. So we'll start with 1003, Where Do We Come From?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
All right. Now we'll do We Are 1051. We'll just repeat once and then go to the end and repeat the ending.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are the grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
All right. Now we'll do 1001, breaths.
ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees, they are in the groaning woods, they are in the crying grass, they are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast, they are in the wailing child, they are with us in our homes, they are with us in this crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters,
we can hear some more saws and whoosh. Let me hear you. Sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh. Over here. Sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh. This side. Sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh. Together. Sa, whoosh, sa. Let's do that one more time. 'Tis the ancestors' prayer. 'Tis the ancestors' prayer.
when the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh, sa, whoosh.
There's that energy I love that I only get here at Cedar Lane.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lynn Moyer, and my pronouns are she, her. Welcome to Cedar Lane. It has been great singing with you during this Ingathering singing. Now let us greet our neighbors. Turn to the person next to you, behind you. Say good morning, hello. Here we go.
Singing welcome, welcome to this place. You're invited to come and take your place. All are welcome to grow in love and grace. 'Cause everyone is welcome here. All are welcome in this place.
All right.
Well. It has been a time here at Cedar Lane. I know some of you were here last night, and now you're here this morning. You might be a little bit tired. But good morning.
Good morning.
I'm the Reverend Ali Casey Bell, and my pronouns are he and him. Welcome to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your beliefs, your gender identity, your documentation status, your disability, and wherever you are seeing us from today or joining us from in person or at home, you are welcome to bring your whole imperfect self here.
Yes, yes. A special welcome to those of you who are joining Cedar Lane this morning for the first time. If you are joining us for the first time today, can we see your hands, a show of hands? Or maybe it's been a while since you've been here. It's good to see you again. Hello and welcome. Our ushers will be coming around to welcome you with a special gift. All right,
Yes.
and if you're joining us online, please go ahead and type your name in the chat so that we can give you a warm welcome too.
Yes, yes. And I don't see the ushers just yet.
Oh,
but
there she is.
I think they're looking for our special gift.
Hands again. I'm so sorry. Just we want to make sure
And
we're
I
giving
don't see the special gift.
Aw.
But you know what? We'll find you.
It's true.
We'll find you and we'll get you that special gift. How about we just give you a nice Cedar Lane welcome right
Yes.
now? Welcome.
There will be a newcomer link in the chat as well for folks to fill out the form.
There will be. And they're invited to complete it. They can
Yes, of
complete that
course.
newcomer form and it'll be there. And if you want to know more about Cedar Lane,
Our weekly e-newsletter,
That's
yes, is a
right.
great way to stay updated about all the happenings at Cedar Lane. You can sign up through the link or the website, www.cedarlane.org. Our pastoral visitors are an extension of the ministry team, and Joanne Jersey is here today to greet you. She is available to support you in person.
yes, that is awesome. You know that Cedar Lane UU congregation is situated on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank people, part of the Piscataway groups of tribes, and on the land of which enslaved African people and their descendants labored and lived without choice or reward. We honor with gratitude the land and the people who've protected it through the generations. We gather in gratitude for all who have gone before, whose love and labor helped create and sustain the mission and ministry of this religious community. So in this spirit, we gather. In this spirit, we worship. And in this spirit, we begin.
Good morning. I am Babzz, the worship associate for today's service, and my pronouns are they, them. As Eileen, Ben, and Sean come up to candle the chalice, please rise in body and or in spirit to share the chalice lighting words. For the wonder and inspiration we seek from the sun and stars and all the lights of the heavens, we light this chalice.
All righty. It is time. It is time for a time. It is time for our time for all ages. And we're going to do it differently today. You haven't done it like this in a while, so I wonder if the young and the young at heart would come forward. You can sit on the stairs, you can sit on the floor, you can maybe even sit in those chairs right there if you want to. I promise I won't bite anyone. They told me I couldn't, so yeah. I won't do it today. All right. And we're going to do a thing. We're going to do a fun thing. Let's not sit near the camera so we don't bump it. You see that camera? That's how all our online friends see us. Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hey, let's move away from the camera. Let's slide this way. Can everybody slide? Slide, slide, slippity slide. All right, cool. All right, great. Yeah, this is a great crowd.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you all.
Hey, so if you turn that way, I can't see you. I guess. I mean,
Hey, you guys.
you got to do what your body says do. You know what I say in chapel? If you feel like you need to move around, you do that, right? Because I'm going to move. You notice I can't stay still. So, we're going to do this thing. It's going to be really fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's about pretending. Do you all know how to pretend? Oh, yeah. All right? All right, let's go.
All right. This is going to be a time to use our imagination.
Okay.
So put on your imagination cap. I got mine. Reverend Ali, do you have yours?
Oh, yeah. I got mine.
Excellent. All right. It is time for us to
Wait,
imagine.
did they put on their imagination cap?
Oh, do you have your imagination
It's
caps?
super important to put it on.
Oh,
Everybody got
Good.
their imagination cap?
yay, I'm so happy to see this.
Okay, cool.
All right. It is time for us to imagine. So put on your thinking caps like you just did. Awesome. And let's go.
Now, raise your hand if you've ever been to a sporting event, like basketball, baseball, soccer, cricket, lacrosse, tennis, sports. If you've ever done one of those things before, or if you've seen it on TV, or you've played it in your yard, any of those things, putt-putt, golf, table tennis, anybody? All right, awesome. All right, and how many of you follow a sports team that you think about as your team? Like that's your team. All right, cool. Well, I have a little bit of bad news. Okay, so remember this is pretend, right? I need you to imagine this. I just received advanced notice. That means notice before anybody else got it. That it's from the governor. The governor. And the governor is like the person that is like the person that's the highest in Maryland, that like the political person that's highest in Maryland. Look at this. It's very surprising. You won't believe what it says. It says, hear ye, all citizens of Maryland, effective immediately, are hereby notified. It's too loud. Are hereby notified. Is that better? We are hereby notified that your sport is now illegal. Who knows what illegal means? Can somebody tell me what that means? What is it?
You're not allowed to do it?
Yeah, what does it mean? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, it's against the law. From today onward, it's absolutely forbidden to watch it, to play it, or to go to a game. You can't even stand in your backyard and talk about it. You must do something, I know. So consider drawing or watching the clouds go by. And so I'm going to stop pretending for a second and say that I have very sensitive ears. And if you have sensitive ears, like I believe that your ears are a little sensitive. So if you need to sit further away from me to make your ears feel better, it's perfectly okay. I'm okay with that. You will not hurt my feelings.
She just got really upset about her cousin's baseball game getting canceled.
Oh, yeah, totally canceled for make-believe, though.
But I play basketball.
Yeah, totally canceled. Yeah, it's all canceled. All your sports, out of here.
Yes, Don't ask why.
Don't ask why.
We have our reasons, and we mean it. No matter how old you are or which team you root for, you will be in big trouble if you watch or play your sport in Maryland, starting today.
So now that your sport is illegal, what are each of you going to do about it? What are you going to do now that your sport is illegal? Anybody got any ideas? Ooh, that's a good idea. Convince your family to move to another place where you can play sports.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Oh, just play sports on your Nintendo Switch. Uh-huh. Sue the government, yes. Anybody else? Stay in your basement and play video games all day. Do something different, yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, yes.
Complain about the government.
Complain about the government. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah? Anything? All right. So we got some good ideas here. Let's see what we can work with.
Yeah. All of those are possible ways to respond. Maybe the new law doesn't affect you, so you shrug it off.
I don't like sports anyway.
Maybe the threat of getting in trouble scares you enough to stop or to sneak around. Maybe you leave Maryland every time you want to hit a few balls or watch a team play. This may sound like a funny example to talk about, but there are countries where doing simple, everyday things are forbidden. A lot of the time, those forbidden things have to do with speaking your mind, living in your body, or practicing your religion. How whack is that?
That is awful. Imagine if you woke up tomorrow and found out that it was against the law to be a Unitarian Universalist or talk about Unitarian Universalism. And that's the situation that some of our religious ancestors faced, and some people still face in their own religions today. Nearly 500 years ago, can you all imagine 500 years ago? It'd be like, 500 years ago, people like us in Europe, they got tired of being told that there was only one way to practice religion. They just got sick of it. And they began to read the Bible on their own. Because before then, did you know that you couldn't do it yourself? Like somebody like me would have to read it to you and tell you what it meant. And so they started to read it for themselves. And what happens when you start to read things yourself? What do you think? You learn, and you start to have your own thoughts about it, which meant they started to come up with new religious beliefs, and a few of them were our religious ancestors. And they were a part of a movement called the Radical Reformation. It sounds like a band. Radical Reformation, right? Sounds good. And they talked about a new religious belief that we today would call Unitarian. These brave people began to practice being Unitarians, even though it was forbidden, like some of you might have said. And they got in a lot of trouble. And they did. Some of them even died because of it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Some of them said, I'll stop. It's not that important to me. I'll go along with what we're supposed to believe. Some of them said, I'll be Unitarian in secret with people I trust. And in public, I'll just pretend to go along with what I'm told.
Yeah.
Some of them said, I'm out of here. And they left the places it was most dangerous to be Unitarian and tried to find countries where it was safer to be Unitarian. And a few of them said, nope, I'm going to be Unitarian anyway and talk about my beliefs even if it gets me in trouble because I can't deny my conscience and my faith.
Yeah, the truth is, we needed all of those early Unitarians, the ones who died because they had courage in their faith, and the ones who fled to other countries the ones who practiced and taught Unitarian beliefs in secret, and maybe even we needed those who said, it's really not that important. Because guess what they got to do? They got to make a choice. We needed those people from long ago, from all over the world. We needed all of the Unitarians and Universalists who were forming Unitarian and Universalist thoughts. And we needed them for their beliefs, all of the beliefs that they were spreading in countries like India and in Japan and in Jamaica and in Australia and in the Philippines and in Kenya and in the United States. Because Unitarians and Universalists were all having these thoughts all around the same times in all of these different countries, not just in Europe. So guess what? They formed our faith, and now it's up to us to ask ourselves, where will we go from here and lead the way? Let's be grateful for those people throughout the past years who made sure that we could inherit this faith. What does inherit mean? Anybody? You know? Go ahead. Thank you, Elsie. To get something from our ancestors, that's right. Let's be thankful for them and take care of it for the next generations, because they're going to be children like you one day sitting here. And you know what? I really look forward to following you into the next iteration of our faith. And I thank you for going forward. And you'll be happy to know that we were just playing. It's completely safe to play sports. It's not illegal. So let's sing our children out to number 1057, Go Lift It Up. See you later. Have fun. Go to your classes.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye. Be careful of the camera. Be careful of the camera. Be careful of the camera. Thank you. That was beautiful. There are a number of things to talk about this morning. This is the announcements section. So first, I want to thank each and every one of you that made last night's annual benefit concert such a success. There were about 140 people between online and in the building. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. There is a sign up for Soul Matters groups. I know we've been waiting for this. Our Soul Matters small group program is accepting new members who want to try them out. We have 9 groups. 3 of them have a specific focus, and registration is now open. You can see the e-news for registration information. This is awesome. Are you ready? Something is back. The donut sale is back. Woohoo! The youth are back with the donuts, and they are back today. So today, during coffee hour in the lounge, the youth will be selling donuts. Donuts and coffee, they go well together. Get your donuts. And we have a congregational read coming up. Starting February 17th, our congregation will embark on a collective journey of reading and reflecting on the book Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. There are many ways for you to engage in this congregational read. We expect to read about a chapter a week, but you can read at the pace that works for you and see the e-news for more information. And there will be condoms in our bathroom at the end of the day today. And, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. If you'd like to know more about that, why do we have condoms in our bathroom, from 12 to 1 in the library, you can come by after service to learn about upcoming activities around reproductive justice and get involved if you'd like. This is a part of our Social Justice After Service series. Reproductive justice includes reproductive health, including the tools that help people be safer with their reproductive justice. And now we move into a space of naming and sharing the joys and sorrows of the community and beyond.
Let us center ourselves and enter into this moment, calling upon all the sources of love that are within, among, and around us. We lift up those in our community who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones. We pause to be present in our spiritual companions and to the concerns of our own hearts within our Cedar Lane community. A celebration of life service for longtime member Kay Scott will be held on Saturday, February 18th at 2 p.m. The service will also be live streamed on our YouTube channel. A celebration of life for longtime member Karen Lerner will be held on Friday, February 24th. Karen passed away in Salt Lake City, Utah on December 10th after a brief illness. More information about her celebration will be forthcoming. We take this moment to hold space for the life of Tyree Nichols and his family. Tyree was a 29-year-old black man. He was a father, son, artist, skateboarder, and a person who loved to photograph sunsets. He was murdered by members of the Memphis Police Department on January 7th, 2023. At this tender time for black and brown people in our congregation and in our world, we hold them in love. Our caring extends to others whose lives are lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, and calamities in our nation and around the world. May these friends of ours, our companions in the world, and all their joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts be held in the embrace of meditation and silence.
As we enter the silence together, you're invited to rise in body and or spirit and speak the name of the loved ones that you're holding in remembrance or share their names in the chat. You're also invited to light a candle over at our station here for your loved ones or those you're holding in your heart. You may sit as you need to, as our friends continue to light the candles for their loved ones. Precious and Holy One, may we be healed. Loving One, may we be well. Forgiving One, may we be whole. We lift these names, our loved ones, our friends and our families, people that we didn't know until the tragedy of their lives came upon our screens. Precious and Holy One, may we find a way to shore up the brokenness of this world. May we find a way to be whole. Amen and Ashe.
I invite you to sit comfortably in your chairs, both feet planted. If you're holding something in your hands, set it down. Allow your arms to just rest comfortably in your lap. And as you are moved to do so, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again. Feel your body settle in the chair or letting go. And as you are moved to do so, join me in a hum. Continue the breath, the hum, or join me in singing. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me.
Today, we share the plate with Congregation Action Network. Jerry Kickenson, a board member of the organization and the Montgomery coordinator, will come up and tell you a little more about them.
Good morning. I said my name is Jerry Kickenson. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am a member of the board of the Congregation Action Network. And I also tried to coordinate our activities here in Montgomery County. Thank you for inviting me to speak about the network that we often call just for short CAN. CAN was founded in 2017 as an interfaith collective of congregations in the Washington, D.C. metro area, bringing education and faithful resistance to bear in the region to end detention, deportation, profiling, and criminalization of immigrants, and demanding and upholding justice, dignity, safety, and family unity. The first years of our organizations saw support and defense of immigrants facing immediate detention and deportation. Through rallies, vigils, and really just making a lot of noise, CAN help free many of our neighbors. A young man named Prince, who came here as a child with his father, was detained at the check-in and was literally minutes from deportation, despite a credible fear of persecution in his home country and being married to a United States citizen. He was released. Binsar, after decades of living in the United States, was detained at his church and prepared for deportation. He was also released. During the first years of the COVID pandemic, CAN organized and coordinated direct support for our impacted congregations, while also advocating at state level to include all residents in COVID aid programs, because many of our neighbors with particular immigration status were not so eligible. Rosa Gutierrez Lopez avoided deportation by taking sanctuary right here at Cedar Lane. Your generosity and commitment cannot be ever underestimated. Thanks to you, with CAN's support, Rosa is now living in the community and is giving back as a CAN leader and a national sanctuary activist. But Rosa's position here is still precarious. Her future in America is not totally secure, and Rosa is not alone. Many of our neighbors here in the area, for instance, CAN's board member, Claudia, are dreamers. They may lose their right to work, live, and study here in the United States at any time. Others, like CAN leader Herman, have temporary protected status, which must be repeatedly renewed. Lukman and Elias escaped Afghanistan in the summer of 2021, but they have humanitarian parole, allowing them to live here in the United States only until this summer. CAN will educate, train, and then leverage the area's faith community in support of immigrant rights and justice. CAN will continue to defend immigrants from detention and deportation when necessary. But we will also advocate for inclusive local policies that do not exclude anyone because of their immigration status. CAN coordinates advocacy efforts both in Washington, D.C. and here in Montgomery County with both the executive and the councils of the respective jurisdictions. We also join wider coalitions in support of state-level efforts. The faith community in this area can offer a powerful moral voice to make our area truly welcoming to all. I am happy to stick around and talk to you after the worship, if you wish, and thank you again for inviting me.
You may text to donate CLUUC/amount you are giving to 73256, or you can donate online at Cedar Lane Give Now. You can also choose the collection plate or give using PayPal. Just go to Cedar Lane PayPal or scan the QR code that appears on the screen. Mail a check to Cedar Lane, Unity and Universalist Congregation, 9601 Cedar Lane, Bethesda, Maryland, 20814. Thank you so much for your generosity. Today's offering will be greatly received.
I have a favorite sound. To be precise, it's not a singular sound, but a multitude. Have you ever stood in the presence of a tree and listened to the wind pass through its leaves? The roots and body stand defiant and unmoved, but listen. The branches stretch out their tongues and whisper, shh. Trees make symphonies without their trunks ever moving, almost as if the stillness of their centers amplifies their sound. The tree may appear still, but if you look closer, you'll see that each leaf flails with breath. The tree may seem alone, but plow deep and you'll unearth its secret gnarled roots. The grotesque and the beautiful, creeping in the soil, reaching towards the ancestors. Thomas Merton said, "No writing on the solitary, meditative dimensions of life can say anything that has not already been said better than the wind, better by the wind in the pine trees." I hold this close. My spirituality has always been given to contemplation, even before anyone articulated for me exactly what the contemplative was. I was not raised in an overtly religious home. My spiritual formation now comes to me in memories, not creeds or doctrine, but the air we breathed, stories, myth, and a kind of attentiveness. From a young age, my siblings and I were allowed to travel deep into our interior worlds to become aware of ourselves, our loves, our beliefs, and still my father demanded an unflinching awareness of our exterior worlds. Where is home from here? What was the waitress's name? Where do we look when we are walking? If a single phrase could be considered the mantra of our family, it would be, pay attention, pay attention. Later, in the arms of white intellectuals, much of what I absorbed of the contemplative life rested on the demands of knowledge, silence, and solitude. I learned to read the words of dead men and go on silent retreats and listen alone in my room, all in hopes of hearing something true of God. These are practices that I'm not quick to sneer at, as they have often been co-opted from the wisdom of Eastern spiritualities and diluted. Still, I do not believe they alone tell the story of the contemplative life.
When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. But now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But I walk it with reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
That was excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you. What a week it has been. I just made like my week for real. Just brought everything into perspective. I truly appreciate you singing and playing and practicing and all of the things that you did to get here today to make that happen. Thank you so much for bringing that to us. Okay. I want you to think back to when you were a young child, before you knew about what you were supposed to believe, and you just took life in. I know that I'm asking some of us to go very, very far back, but just travel with me for a little bit. Back before you learned about religion or what it meant to be hurt by religion, or even knew about different denominations and things like that. Back when things were simple. Do you remember how that felt? How you felt? How you answered questions about life for yourself? Or made meaning of the world for yourself? I remember when I was a young child, everything was holy. Of course, I didn't have those words. I just had the feeling of reverence for life, the newness of the natural world every day, the miracle that it felt like to be in it, the flowers blooming, the grass growing, and the smell of the earth crunching beneath my sandals. Does anybody else know what I'm talking about? Okay. I was pretty happy in my world. I was happy in my world of natural wonder, deeply curious about the natural order of the world, and I engaged my core thinking in this. This was my way of being and making meaning in my world, and I have applied that way to the rest of my life. Of course, later on, I would become indoctrinated into God language and the idea of God being out and around and inside of me. And at some point in my life, I kind of got, this is the denomination or that's the denomination. But it never did leave me how nature just made sense. You see, this idea of storytelling, of making sense of your world, is the crux of religion and theology. I know that we dress it up to make it seem so much bigger than it is, but truly, when we look over time at all of the peoples who have talked about religion and theology, what they're talking about is a way to explain the intangible and the undefined. In the book, God is Here, author Toba Spitzer states, in all aspects of life, we define our reality in terms of metaphors and then proceed to act on the basis of those metaphors. We draw inferences, set goals, make commitments, and execute plans, all on the basis of how we, in part, structure our experience consciously and unconsciously by means of metaphor. The metaphors we live by are central to who we are, she goes on to say, how we act and how we make meaning of the world around us. Coming back to the notion that science consists in observing the world and formulating truths about it, rather than discovering pre-existing truths, she says. I would argue that it is true for the sciences, how much more so for religion. Based on new understandings of how our minds work, we can borrow Theodore Brown's insight and say that religion does not proceed by discovering pre-existing truths about the world. Rather, it consists in observing the world and formulating truths about it. So, is it true to say that God exists? I would say, she says, God exists like love exists, like time exists, like colors exist, like good and evil exist, because all of these are fundamental aspects of the human experience. This is the end of that reading. I must admit, when I read that the first time, as someone who is a theist, it gave me a structure to hang my nagging doubt that maybe there was a space for all of the ways that God shows up for me, even if my God is not the God of my mother's United Methodist Church or my father's religious scientist movement. It settled in me a feeling of being pluralistic in my own faith, for I am just likely to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo as I am to pray a universalist prayer or call the corners to perform a ritual. My understanding, storytelling, and true reflection on what is and what isn't has served me well in my quest for a theology that holds me. This theology, in its most unabashed form, is the form of understanding, the form of making sense. This is theology. The simplistic definition is the study of nature of God and religious belief. So if you stayed in the sermon this long, congratulations. You're thinking like a theologian. And while you're thinking about all of this, I wonder how it's different for you. I wonder how your theological core started to transform from what it was before you were able to form thought and what it is now. In the chat, friends at home, I want you to start to chat with each other about this a minute. I want you just to go beyond saying, hello, I'm from this place and the chalice is lit here, to actually have this kind of theological conversation. And here in the sanctuary, I really want you to think about, when did it change for you? What was your transformation? When I engage my core theological beliefs, what I find is that there is still a kid who is embracing the wonder. Is anyone else out there still embracing the wonder? Good. The kid who believes in the holiness of the simplicity of this world. And as a minister in this congregation, now, you know, I've been here 6 months now, so now we're going to get real. As a minister in this congregation, I have become keenly aware of the divide between the theist and non-theist, and the feelings of oppression in the liturgy and music that you're feeling. And it really saddens me. It saddens me to know that we as a pluralistic faith community haven't gotten past that fake fight yet. Friends, it's a fake fight. And don't worry, I'll explain. I believe that we suffer from the woundings and misconceptions from the God of our understanding, yet our understanding is shaped by a defunct metaphor. I'm going to let that sit with you for a second. In the book, God is Here, they further go on to define the metaphor that we use to define the world. One type of metaphor is the extinct metaphor. The metaphor that we see as something that is true, although we forget that we are referring to the metaphor. The author states, what is most powerful about an extinct metaphor is that they are not really extinct at all. Quite the opposite. We take them so far for granted that we think that we are describing reality as it is. They are, in the words of Lakoff and Johnson, metaphors we live by. And what I'm suggesting here is that for many, many people, God has become an extinct metaphor. I'm just letting you sit with it for a second. Just let it feel uncomfortable. It's all right. You're not here to be comfortable. Regardless of what we say, we believe or we don't believe, but most of us say the word God, what we're referring to is actually a metaphor. We're referring to the extinct metaphor of God as this big, powerful person. When then we profess to believe or disbelieve is that same extinct metaphor. This metaphor made sense when we were trying to figure out the world. So historically, this has been the metaphor that God was built on, and the metaphor that has gone forth in many religions. But I wonder if this fake fight would even exist if you used a different metaphor altogether for your understanding of God. What if you used your theological muscles to engage the core of your belief system to determine what you believed and what you didn't believe based on the sense of what is important to you as a human? What if you used an active metaphor, not an extinct one, not the theology that you've rallied against, but the theology that you've formulated through contemplation and play to determine what you truly believe? Then, my friends, I believe that the metaphors that we use wouldn't lead us to fuse and fight. The metaphors that we use would lead us to connection. May it be so.
Let's stand as you are willing and able and sing when the Spirit says do. 10:24, the words will be on the screen. Get ready to move. Get ready to sing.
You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 Spirit says do.
All right. Now, let's go forth. Let's engage our theological core. Let's remember that we are here to connect, that we can define who and what we are and what we believe, and let's do what the Spirit says do. All righty. Go forth. Do good things. Amen, ashe, and blessed be.